Tuesday morning, 2036. Sarah walks into the boardroom. 25 years of expertise, one quiet replacement. She will not learn until Friday afternoon. The quantum leap. At the quantum leap, we do not forecast futures. Every world here is real, just not yet. Let us walk you into Tuesday, in 2036. Sarah presents a forecast she refined for 6 weeks. A multi-agent AI delivers a sharper version in minutes. Nobody in the room corrects her. Nobody mentions it. The expiration date on her expertise was stamped years earlier. Today we trace the quiet inversion reshaping every professional career. Who gets replaced first is not who you expect. Goldman Sachs modeled 300 million jobs worldwide at risk. McKinsey projects 30% of work hours automated by 2030. Those numbers were the warning. The inversion is the surprise. If you are 40, this decade rewrites your remaining career. If 50, your retirement assumes a vanishing economy. This is not a forecast. This is the current quarter. 3 acts follow: inversion evidence, the cliff ahead. For 150 years, expertise meant accumulated pattern recognition. Doctors, lawyers, analysts, consultants paid for decades of patterns. The pattern was the product, time was the moat. Then in late 2022, a model trained in months. It absorbed more case law than any attorney reads lifetime. More radiology images than any specialist sees in decades. More earnings call than a senior analyst hears career-long. The training time collapsed from 30 years to 6 months. That compression is the story nobody quite explained yet. The first signal came from radiology reading rooms nationwide. By 2024, FDA cleared 700 AI imaging tools. RSNA 2025 studies showed AI matching human radiologist accuracy. Not in every task, but in the repeatable cognitive ones. The tasks that took 20 years of training to master. Jeffrey Hinton named Radiologists specifically in his 2016 warning. He was early by a decade. He was not wrong. Picture a 2030 hospital where diagnostic reads arrive before admission. The radiologist no longer reads, she audits, she signs. Her job still exists, it just looks entirely different. Law followed the same curve, just 1 year delayed. Thomson Reuters 2024 surveyed 67% of lawyers. They expected generative AI transforming the profession within 5 years. By 2025, Claude and GPT passed the bar exam. Legal research, contract review, brief drafting, all now automated. The paralegals went first. The partners assumed they were safe. The partners were wrong in a very specific way. Stanford research identified something counterintuitive in 2025. Senior professionals were often more exposed than juniors. Why? Routine cognitive pattern work concentrates at mid and senior levels. Juniors still do messy human-facing tasks AI struggles with. The expert curve did not tilt, it inverted. That is the trajectory. Now come the caveats. These studies are early. The profession variance is wide. The direction has been consistent across 4 years. Timelines in emerging technology are notoriously unreliable. Fusion has been 20 years away for 60 years. What matters is the underlying trajectory, not the predicted date. And the trajectory here compressed faster than anyone modeled. Two unrelated fields collided quietly in late 2024. Transformer architecture met professional licensing exam corpora. A model passed every gate expertise was built on. Bar exam, MCAT, CFA, LSAT, all at 90% plus. The gates were supposed to gatekeep. They became training data. Dario Amodei warned in 2024 about entry-level knowledge work. He predicted half could disappear within 5 years. The skeptics called hype. The data kept narrowing gaps. In one version of 2032, reskilling infrastructure catches up. In the other, it does not. Both remain plausible. The decision is being made in state legislatures this year. Google and Microsoft launched massive AI reskilling programs. But reskilling answers only half the problem Sarah faced. The other half is the wall built around every profession. Credentialing, licensing, the regulatory moat built over a century. For now, that wall still stands. The data leaks through. Imagine yourself at 45 today, planning for 2045 retirement. Your pension assumes industries that may no longer exist. Your home equity assumes jobs no longer paying equally. Your expertise assumes a curve that already inverted beneath you. This is the vertigo of the inflection point. This is not simply about jobs, it is about systems. Pensions, healthcare, credit markets all assume the old curve. When the curve flips, the systems stress in sequence. IBM froze hiring on 7,000 back-office roles in 2023. Klarna claimed its AI replaced 700 agents by 2024. Hollywood writers struck in 2023 with AI at the center. Each event was minor, the pattern was not. What if your review said, AI outperformed you today? Sarah's Friday learned exactly that, in one sentence. No malice, no drama, just a quiet reassignment of scope. Her income did not drop, her pattern did. The future does not arrive at once, it converges. Scale met cheap inference, met licensing, met enterprise pressure. Each alone was nothing. Together they flipped the curve. Anthropic's CEO wrote the replacement would not feel dramatic. It would feel like a quiet Tuesday of agreements. Darren Acemoglu at MIT countered with a different warning. The gains would concentrate with capital holders, not workers. Brynjolfsson at Stanford argued for human-AI complementarity. The data so far supports Acemoglu more than Brynjolfsson. That matters because policy follows the framing we accept. This technology will split the professional class into two groups. Those who absorbed AI into their practice before 2028, and those who assumed their credentials still guaranteed safety. The gap between them will exceed the internet divide. Here is what the headlines miss entirely. The replacement is not a headline, it is a gradient. A 10% scope reduction per review cycle, compounded. By year 4, the role is unrecognizable, then gone. Sarah is on year 2, she still feels ahead. Most senior professionals reading this are also on year 2. The point of no return is this year, not 2036. Look at the evidence again, fast, one more time. Bar exam passed, medical boards passed, fast. CFA passed, radiology benchmarks matched, faster still. Contract review faster, earnings analysis faster, always faster. Case law retrieval, faster, cheaper, around the clock. Every gate protecting the expertise premium is now training data. If this sounds like doom, hold the thought briefly. The same evidence diagnosing the problem points at answers. 3 traits appear in the mid-career professionals who thrive. First, domain fluency plus AI fluency, both not either. Second, client trust capital that AI cannot forge overnight. Third, systems framing, seeing convergences before they hit. The Stanford AI Index 2025 documents this pattern in detail. Eric Brynjolfsson's research group at HAI tracks the reinvention curve. Their data shows survivors are not the most credentialed. They are the most adaptive. The gap is measurable. These findings are early. Replication studies are still publishing. But the direction has been consistent since 2023. So picture Sarah again, this time in 2040, not 2036. She runs a practice of 2 humans, 9 AI agents. Her clients pay her more than in 2025, not less. Her product is judgment at scale, not pattern recognition. The expertise expired, the judgment compounded instead entirely. That distinction is what the next century rewards. If you are 40, you have 25 working years ahead. If 50, you may have 35, given longevity advances. Those years will not reward the 20s career strategy. They will reward a second act nobody trained for. The good news, nobody trained anyone. The field is open. The hard news, the reinvention window is narrow. The future does not arrive at once, it converges. The inversion was one, the licensing wall is the next. That is where part 2 begins the next chapter. The credentialing moat, held for 150 years. In 2025, the first regulatory cracks appeared, small, quiet. By the end of this decade, those cracks become doors. Who walks through first determines which future we live in. Sarah is about to walk through, she does not know. In part 2, the licensing wall comes down next. The expiration date was the beginning, the real story starts.